stone build on Sand Wraith for Imba Boy still wasn't enough. So, anyways, here we are in game number 2, already into even the second tier of bands. Again, not using much time here to get these initial picks out of the way at least. Joined by Love once again of Complexity Gaming, who's not only casting this match with myself, but they're going to be playing the winner of this matchup here. So, in the grand finals later on today. So, some fun stuff there. We got a little bit of a different draft here for Game 2, though, Love, so far happening. The picks of Midas and a Magmus, Torture and a Pyromancer, Behemoth, and then there's a Wild Soul coming out. So what do you think about the draft so far?
I think for BMG, it's just a standard lineup. They can lane any of those heroes anywhere they want. Torture could be mid, support, same with Behemoth or Midas, anything they really want at this point. For Imba Boy's draft, I really think he has a plan in mind. They have been running this Wild Soul jungle a lot because he just farms so fast in the jungle, especially with an Elk Bones. He gets like around 600-700 GPM at like the 12-minute mark if they leave him untouched. So yeah, it's just kind of weird to see a Mag Pyro on the side of ECX. It's not really heroes I think of when I think of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe they have something in mind.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely, again, they've been running the whole Parasite, the Tundra combination, like the Sand Wraith, but, oh my gosh, look at that. All right, we got to talk about that. Dark Lady, Lodestone, Sand Wraith, Silhouette, Arachna, Predator to the bands. Taro coming out for BMG. Okay, this is not your usual carry happening here, so what do you think?
Oh, Boxy does play it somewhat, or a little bit from like time to time, so it is good in that sense. The tarot, you can put the card on the Wild Soul, and then you just hit the bear, so it does like that shared damage, like an insane amount. And they already have tons of magic damage on top, so that's also fairly strong. I'm not too sure how well he is at taking stacks, so I don't know if that's going to be their primary stack taker on BMG. They do like having one of those. But, yeah, it's an interesting pick. Kind of fits their playstyle a lot. And if he does get to that late game, he's pretty much unstoppable. So,
yeah, I mean, he essentially has to be one of the hardest carries in the game just simply because of that ultimate and the scaling of the charges and how hard he can crit by the time the late game is there. So, yeah, this is fun. We have not seen Taro maybe like once or twice before. And that's a great point, though, about the Farscry, the W of hers, about Wild Soul, and I would think that that's probably, one of the bigger reasons they perhaps picked it up here with that 4th pick. So, also, probably one of the more annoying laners to go up against in the game because of the Farscry. It's ridiculous. Yeah. She can really harass the crap out of you with that ability. So, yeah, This should be exciting. This should kind of give us some insight as to, maybe Taro's something that people got to start thinking about a little more when it comes to carry. So,
yeah, he's a really strong hero. The only problem he has is that he lacks mobility like other carries. So
true.
And just, I guess this last pick is either going to be, it could be anything really. Yeah, okay. I guess it's a Boxy hero.
That is anything. A Gladiator picked up. In the end, do you see an obvious reason for a Gladiator, or is it just kind of a middle hero that makes sense to use?
It's AoE magic damage. It's pretty good versus Wild Soul as well. You can pull back the Magmus if he decides to stun away with your Showdown. But it's just kind of strange because I think normally Boxy does play the Tarot and like they give Chipper or Midas or something to Baltazar, so it's gonna be weird seeing Baltazar play. I think they can both play it fairly well, but. I'm just normally used to seeing Boxy on it. So, yeah.
All right, well, we'll see where it ends up here in this case. But, yeah, with the way it's shaping up, I would have to lean towards Baltazar playing the Tarot here most likely. But we'll see. While they swap it up, I mean, obviously haven't readied up just yet, keeping Evil Corporation guessing, if anything. Speaking of them, probably... Okay, they're going to go Puppet Master as their... short lane carry, it looks like. So, yeah, they definitely still could have used one, and they end up with a puppet in the end for it here.
Yep, and I think that fits sort of well this game. Normally, you don't really like seeing Puppet Master as your as your sole carry just because he's so susceptible. Like he doesn't have, he only has that like one burst, like kill one hero, and then he's not really as mobile as you'd like. But this
Yeah.
game, since they have the Wild Soul, it's nice that you can make space for a hero that can eventually take the late game. And yeah,
Okay. So Baltazar is on the Tarot here. You got Boxy playing the Gladiator. Um, yeah, I'm excited to see this Tarot though once again and how
but
she's
boots
different.
on Magnus straight away. That's interesting. I'm not sure what they're doing here actually,
Um,
just by looking at the items.
are they
And they
gonna maybe
pulled.
man up here?
I mean, they might even run Tenkafet as a laner because he does a pooled regen as you see. Tundra does have normal laning items to Summit. Yeah, I guess they're manning up and they're gonna pull the lane with the Wild Soul Bear. They're faking them out here because Tenkafet has been running a lot of jungle Wild Soul in scrims and he is playing it, so
Yeah.
it's kind of mind games coming out.
Yeah, and I would think this could work out pretty well. Obviously, Tarot, when it comes to talk about our weaknesses, not a very mobile hero, and excuse me, pretty vulnerable essentially to getting killed, especially with some double stun combination. You throw a Puppet Master on top of that, so I think it's safe to say, yeah, BMG will definitely be caught off guard by this at least initially. It's just a matter of how will they respond to it is not a question. I mean, the Midas is currently top lane. Do you think they'll try to rotate maybe the the Midas bottom, then Tarot top, or is that not worth it because then ECX can just rotate, or what would they do here?
I think they want to fight the tri lane just because it's pretty even. It really comes down to skill and lane positioning to see who wins the lane bottom. So if BMG's comfortable, they could go down there. But also, if you do win that tri lane with a Taro on your team and he gets those ult charges early, I mean, it might be like extremely hard to come back from that. So
Yeah.
if they do manage to somehow win the lane down here, it's going to be insane how fast this Taro takes off.
Yeah, that's true. It's like the icon of the goddess idea. Devour, I guess, even has the ability with the cadaver armor. It's as soon as you start getting kills, and she gets it for free from the beginning, of course. As you already see, the ultimate leveled up, or doesn't do anything just yet, but it allows her to get charges at least if kills start happening. You see right here, though, the Far Cry goes up, and it's so annoying because she's last hitting and also harassing the hell out of you while she's doing that. So, but it's pretty obvious now that if you're BMG, you're like, okay, it's not just Puppet Master down here. There's something going on. And, yeah, they did have a Ward of Sight act. A Ward of Rev was actually put down here. So they missed the Ward of Sight on the pole camp, by the way.
Yeah, kind of an early rev by Root, kind of a mistake. But they are rotating mid, it looks like. Gladiator went bottom immediately. So they are fighting the tri lane just with a different hero.
Interesting. Okay.
This is just as good. And it will secure Taro front. It's just a safer option, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's good.
And Taro, yeah, I would think could have a great time here against Tundra in the middle lane for sure. Bottom lane, here we go. Okay, a little bit of action. Torturer,
Magnus.
she's in trouble. Magnus stunts in, and Torturer's dead. So, yeah, Magnus is just waiting for the right time there. And eventually found it. So.
And that actually is really good for the Hellborn team, especially since they did rotate the Gladiator bot, and the fact that they did die right there early on kind of is even worse for them because they invested that gold. But yeah, it's going to be important to see what the other lanes do. I'm more interested to see who wins this, like the Wild Soul versus the Midas, because they're both extremely strong laners, so it's going to be kind of strange.
Yeah. You see this bottom lane now, definitely it's almost at a loss a bit. You see Behemoth, he's doesn't have another river. I thought he might have had one here, but no, I mean, he's
sending one out.
Trying to, okay, that makes sense. I was like, I don't know what the, I mean, he knows it's blocked. Meanwhile, Gladiator is going to get caught off to the side. Torture puts a stun on a Puppet Master. It might not be enough, though. Fissure Stun does come out at least, but still, Gladiator, nice job with the pitfall, trying to help escape. It's not going to matter, though. And my boy, credit for the kill in the end. So, yeah, Behemoth and Torture definitely have ways to prevent others from dying, but it's just still not enough. And that's another kill they gave up here. This bottom lane.
It's kind of interesting that we haven't seen there's a skill point on Magnus still to use, and Puppet Master had one skill point left as well. well during that fight, so I did decide to level it up, at least on the puppet. I don't know what Magnus is going to go. Maybe he went stats. Not 100% sure.
Yeah, with how his mana pool looks and everything, I feel like he didn't, but you might be right. Maybe because yeah, he is still sitting on it definitely. If that's not the case, so
Maybe he's just sitting on it to see if he needs the steam bath too.
yeah,
Wouldn't be out of the question.
he does
He did
get level 2
level
level
stun.
surge.
Yeah.
All right, well, keep an eye on that, I guess. So, but yeah, clearly BMG, they're finding themselves, and they're the ones definitely being gone on here in this bottom lane. They're not looking to try to make plays themselves, from what we could, from what we've seen so far at least.
And in top lane, looks like Wild Soul's getting the better of Midas at least, harassing with the bear. So it's good to see that Wild Soul's going to be able to take off this game.
Mm-hmm.
And they do get to stack the Ancients for him because they do have that tri-lane bottom, so you can take off really, really early.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it seems like BMG is definitely already in a spot of they're really going to rely on this Baltazar playing the Tarot to do very well here because obviously this tri-lane's already fallen behind a bit, and in fact it could get a little worse here. Magnus, he's scouting around. He has a double damage rune on him. A couple of auto attacks even alone will be plenty of damage. A stun for Pyromancer is not going to happen in time. And actually, you see Puppet Master is going to be even pulled back, but not really a big deal. So, yeah, they were just a little too far away right there, and the Fissure Stun was enough to block them out.
Counter ward for the ward that Fusen placed almost immediately, so that's really big. They had the vision advantage in the tri-lane. They managed to block the pull without it getting countered, even though they used like 2 or 3 rev wards. So, yeah, they're really coming out ahead with this tri-lane.
Yeah, supports here on Evil Corporation definitely outplaying that of BMG so far. You can safely say, simply from the warding here. The lane now even getting pushed up a little bit for Puppet Master, actually, to pick up some more farm. Oh, nice pitfall there, but no follow-up, so not sure what the plan was, but I guess a little bit of harassment doesn't hurt.
Yep, and Midas actually looks like he's abandoning the top lane. I'd like to see him rotate bot, but going mid is just as good, seen as having Tarot Snowball is just really what you want to prioritize. Almost like a Pebbles, really. You really want to prioritize the Tarot. So it's good that he's at least trying to make some action happen out of the lane.
You see the bottom lane again and pushed away all the way to the tower now. Puppet Master definitely respecting the damage, the stun lockdown here of the Legion side, it looks like. I mean, even though it hasn't been going the Legion's way just yet, we still have to, you know, again, respect that. As 3 heroes definitely all bringing a stun to the table, of course. Could get some nice lockdown and get the kill. So Imba Boy playing it somewhat safe here. Magnus was also going for that 6-minute rune, I believe it was, which ended up being top, I want to say. And I don't know who would have gotten it, but
Midas got it. It was an illusion rune.
okay, yeah, there we go.
Oh, Invis, my bad.
Ooh, yeah, he's going mid with it, actually. We'll see if he can explain. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Gladiator. He is going to be a little too far up, going for the last hits right here. Taking the lockdown, puts up the pitfall, the showdown. Oh, we kind of misclicked, though. The pitfall was not on top of the showdown. So, it was a little bit of a misplay panic move there by Boxy. But he's lived, so that's the good news. Middle lane, oh, he missed the transmute. He tried to line up the transmute, and look at Zane going for their turn kill on a Tarot, and he gets it. That's got to sting, man. If you're Maki there especially, knowing that you missing the transmute ultimately sets up a counter kill on your teammate who happens to be the carry in the end. Well played by Zane, though.
Meanwhile, Wild Soul takes the top tower. He's having free reign pretty much up here. Almost 500 GPM.
Wow. Yeah, this is getting out of control already.
And I mean, if you just look at the GPM charts, it's looking disastrous, and it's only 7 minutes in. So BMG really needs to make something happen. I don't know what it's gonna be.
It kind of feels like your series against the Evil Corporation yesterday a little bit, where you guys came out in the first game and looked pretty good, and ended up taking it. Second game though, kind of the opposite. Evil Corporation came out and just, well, made a pretty quick game number 2, and then obviously the game 3 where you guys eventually won it in the end. But Evil Corporation, definitely takes it game by game. They don't worry about the past here too much. So this is looking good for them so far.
It might actually benefit them more because just because of the way people act sometimes. I don't know. I mean, for my team specifically, it's not really that big of a deal, but some people don't take this game by game. So
Yeah.
it's good that they've managed to win these second games.
Yeah.
And especially decidingly like this. Well, not that it's over already, but it's not looking good.
No, this is definitely one of these leads where it feels like unless something happens here in the near future for BMG, and this is not that something. Voodoo Puppet comes out, Midas. He gets killed. That's a Taro using the Shiver to help scout out there and eventually seeing Midas rotating and getting killed in the end.
And Wild Soul's taking the top tier 2 now because Midas died.
Yeah.
It looks like he might look to get active soon because he did buy that power supply, Mystic Vestments. He might be going in Abyssal, so
Oh, yeah.
it's going to be really good for them. It's not really your normal, oh, you have a tri-lane, let's get active with this Wild Soul. But it's still going to be big enough, I think, since they're not going to be able to kill him.
I feel like this is really Tankafet, though. Like, this is in the Parasite games, especially, we see it all the time. He likes to get the souls, the Abyssal Skull as soon as possible. So, yeah, he just kind of likes the style of the Team Auras.
I think he actually won a Mighty Blade. I'm not sure if he had the goal to finish the Abyssal and did. But
Well, we'll see what's coming out of the courier here, but he is farming 550 GPM now, so he helps push middle, and now he's in the Legion jungle. I mean, yeah, BMG, what can you do? Like, they don't have the damage right now to be able to really deal with this Wild Soul at this point.
yeah, I'm just not sure what I would even do. Like, I'd almost call it at 15 if something doesn't happen soon. I mean, bottom lane, they're trying.
That's the key word, though. Love, they're trying. It's not working, unfortunately. Torture goes down. You see Midas even jumping in. Here comes the Avalanche, though. Here comes Wild Soul as well. They do kill Puppet Master, but, well, they're going to get 3 deaths in the end, most likely, unless, oh my gosh, Gladiator will live due to a nice
Not for
fissure
long,
at the
though.
end for Behemoth. Is now Behemoth in trouble?
Oh.
Okay, yeah, Gladiator does make the escape in the end. Behemoth, all right, actually going to be fine. Here comes the Ricochet from Taro. That Far Scry's up on Tundra, but he's just a little too far away and going to be fine for now. Pitfall does hit Wild Soul, so Tankafet, he's on a bear form currently. Needs to be careful about that. Goes in bear form.
I mean, you just see them. They don't really have the damage to take anybody out anymore,
Yeah.
especially without levels. And, yeah. BMG, I mean, they're trying, but it's just getting worse and worse every fight.
Is this a
And
laning?
DK on Tundra now.
Was this a laning thing, you think, or picks, or what?
It was a little bit of lanes, you can say, just because they didn't really do anything bottom, and they didn't win any other lane either. I mean, they did even mid, but Zane did get that counter kill on Balthazar, so that didn't really help. I think it really just comes down to the warding and the lane control they had with Nier and Bray. It's not really Bray's role to second support, but he's doing it pretty well at least. So, props to him.
Yeah, definitely a little bit different here for him, but safe to say, accomplishing it pretty well. Again, Wild Soul, you saw right there that the Bound by Fate's an interesting ability from Tira as well. Using it on a single target, it does slow, so there is that purpose of the 10% movement speed slow, but without anyone else being nearby, and it does not work with Boo Boo. It has to be heroes. Or does it actually? Maybe I'm wrong on that. Wait, does it work with creeps as well? I think it does.
it works with creeps. I'm not sure if it works on neutrals, but I know it works with creeps.
Yeah, you know what? She used it right there, but Boo Boo was a little far away, so I don't know if that answered it there.
Yeah, I think that's why. It was just too far away.
Okay.
But, yeah, I mean, I think just the supports are I mean, they're making this game happen. I mean, you look at the warding situation for BMG, they have 2 very defensive wards. Like, these are the wards you place when you can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, Hellborn's just taking control of the map. They have pretty much all 3 lanes under control if they wanted to, at least. But just setting up for maybe a Kong with Wild Soul. Yeah, just kidding, it is happening, so there's that.
Yeah, Tundra really... I'm not saying he's winning this game for them by any means, but Tundra in general just seems like he's always been that very top-tier hero in good hands. And obviously Zane is that player for sure. Taro, by the way, speaking of Tundra, Portal King in, putting the Avalanche on to Taro. In comes the Blazing Strike, and there's the kill. Tundra will be able to run away as he had the team support. Middle lane, Gladiator, he's just trying to farm, but here comes Wild, so the double swipe activated a bit of damage as well as the slow. In comes the call to arms, though. That is going to mitigate a lot of damage. And he'll be fine for now. Wild Soul gets pulled back in. He has a token, by the way. So even if he happens to die here, not a huge deal in that sense. Although he might not die, though. That life's still kicking in. And yeah, they just don't have the overall damage output still. It's still too early on. And he's like, all right, back to pushing.
Yep, and he gets 2 times lifesteal with that Abyssal in the passive,
yeah.
so...
Jeez, you see that. Like, he was down to like 10% life. Now he's at 60% about.
So, I'm not sure what BMG can do at this point. I mean, there's pretty much nothing they can do. I mean, Fusen doesn't even have boots yet. They don't have 6 on Behe. Nobody really has any 4 items, so...
Oh, Taro, you dead. Oh, you're alive. Okay. Well, Boo Boo's
they killed the bear.
Mission accomplished. We got Boo Boo. He's up in 20
Even
seconds.
Magnus has a PK, though. That's insane, actually.
Yeah. He already has a 14 and a half minutes in here. Yeah, I think BMG could definitely be looking at that clock here. I know a lot of people, it is easy to blame a hero pick such as a Taro here for one that we never see and happened here. So do you think there is validity to that, or was it a lot more than a Taro pickup here?
Nah, I don't think the Taro was the problem. I mean, they managed to punish it, sure, but I think just the supports won then the game pretty much on ECX's side.
Yeah.
Which is kind of strange to say since nobody thinks of that, but...
That's true. So reliant on Imbo Boy usually carrying through to the end, but...
Also, Zane has been doing really well in this Tundra. I know you talked about it earlier, but whenever he plays Tundra, I feel like the bird is always on you. Yeah, mid lane, Taro might even die here.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, the Parasite Tundra is, of course, so strong as they've shown. As yep, Taro's dead. Speaking of Zane, he comes in and sets up that kill. But Tundra, the hero herself, he's always kind of been one of the higher skill cap heroes in the game. Arguably the highest, just simply because of that vision that he brings, the moving ward and the shiver ability, and the active hands of a player that's comfortable with it. It'll do wonders for you. So I think there's definitely the Tundra pick is something that I know you can't necessarily use it in an initial ban against this team, but how do you deal with it? It's like you really can't.
I don't know. You just have to have you have to do the unexpected. Like, you know how before, people kept calling, oh, these people are lion skanking in the middle of the jungle. Why are they doing this? But it seems to work out. You sort of have to make those weird rotations and plays versus a Tundra.
I will say in the game one yesterday, you guys actually played against it very well. So whatever you guys did there, that worked.
Yeah, but just well played to ECX this game. The Tundra did. I mean, it didn't really seem to do as much work. I mean, well, it did since he killed a lot of people. But the bird, I mean, they only had 1 kill on BMG's side, and they couldn't rotate anywhere because of that bird and just the way the lane's set up. So, well played to ECX as a whole. They did well as